Welcome to Motor Talks powered by MotarGaadi. So I am Rahul Magoo, co-founder of MotarGaadi, a leading publication in automobile industry. So today we are obviously going to discuss about goEgo Networks and your view on EV industry. So let's start.
Good afternoon. My name is Pravin Kumar. I'm one of the co-founders of goEgo Network, which is one of the leading EV charging company in India, and also the Make in India. So we are manufacturing our own products. We set up this company in 2019, August. So we'll be finishing 4 years pretty soon. Before starting the goEgo Network, I was already driving an electric vehicle. I'm driving since 2017. I was based in Amsterdam, Europe. That's where I met other. The other co-founder I already knew. He was my friend and colleague from the ABN AMRO time since 2012. And the idea came, where we wanted to build a tech company. And slowly, when we visited India in 2019, we realized that, okay, there is not a lot of, mostly it was Chinese product which was going around in India. So we thought that, okay, there is a good opportunity also to bring the hardware. Even though we don't come from the hardware background, we always had the, from the tech perspective to see any problem, mostly from the technological solution perspective, rather than just putting more people to solve a problem. That's where our lead, I would say, product guy called Juan Ganesh, still based in Netherlands. He's part of the company. With him, we were able to build a good product, which I tested way back in 2020, 2021 in my garage. So I had a garage where we shifted it and made it as a testing and the office for goEgo Network when Santhan and myself were still based in Netherlands. Santhan is the co-founder and head of the company. Dhiman Kadam is my third co-founder. He was always based in India, and he was running the show from India. He was also instrumental in getting the first round of seed funding from Mr. Rishi Kumar Bagla from the Bagla Group, which was approximately half crores. Since then, we Santhan and myself moved back to Pune. I was from Pune before leaving India. Santhan was from Pune, Dhiman was from Pune. So for us, having the headquarters in Pune was a very obvious choice. It's also the OEM, say like Tata is here. A lot of semiconductor warehouses are also. So it was a natural fit for us to move back to Pune.
Exactly.
So our head office is based in Pune. We have set up a factory also in Aurangabad. It's called Shendra. It's a contract manufacturing with in the facility of our lead investor, who is Mr. Rishi Kumar Bagla. We raised another 53 CR last year, from mostly from Mr. Rishi Kumar Bagla, and there are some other small shareholders as well who has helped us. We have built in this last 2 years after moving back to India. We have built complete AC product range. It's completely in-house. I think 90% plus components in our chargers are indigenized, where we are buying from Indian suppliers. We have helped some of the Indian suppliers also to build it. As I said, really make in India for the globe. So also aim is that somewhere down the line, we will be selling the products outside India as well. Also, the tech is completely in-house. We have done installation in more than 60 plus cities, 1700 plus charge points. We are operating with a team of approximately 40 people only. So it's a lean and mean organization. We are in the pursuit of raising further funds as a startup. When this kind of business, it requires a lot of research and development, which takes money, because good people, you need to pay good money to good people, which are contributing to the growth. And I would say industry, the country itself. So the ambition is really, have India really getting on the boom of EVs, where people are not worried about, where can I charge? They should have a peace of mind that, okay, goEgo is everywhere.
Exactly right. Right, sir.
So that's where we are. we were the first company to also get the certification of OCPP. And I think we are still the only Indian company who has got this certification way back in 2021 when I just moved in. Yeah, I mean, since then we have been busy. We are selling our products to Tata Power, Adani, some major builders in Pune and other parts of India. We are also helping a lot of other CPOs who don't have the product themselves that they could buy it from us, and setting up this as a business for themselves. So basically, we will move in the end more towards providing the technology to everybody rather than running all those on our own, because I mean that's not the ambition. We want to be a tech company at the end to really scale this pan India and maybe abroad.
Right. So my first question is, since you have already briefed about the GoEgo network, my first question is how GoEgo network was started and what was the exact motivation behind it?
Yeah. So I mean, I'll tell you. So Santan is the brain behind this idea of running this as a company, and we are friends since 2012. I was driving an electric car, and I was driving and going on different places. But when Santan came up with the idea that, hey, is this something that we could do this? I mean, after a few round of discussion and also doing some research, we did realize that there is a possibility that we could make it as an enterprise solution which can run in India. But it was a purely tech ambition at the time. And the reason is because, I was, before coming back full time in India, I was running the data and analytics for ING Bank, which is the biggest bank in the Netherlands and top 5 in Europe, with a portfolio of 650 billion on the mortgage, with 20-30 million of transaction in a day. So building that kind of enterprise solution, I mean, I don't do it, everything on my own. So definitely with the team. So what kind of people are required? What kind of security you need? What kind of architecture you need to build? Let's say that it was bread and butter for both Santan and myself. So from that perspective, projecting towards 2030, that in India, if there is a big infrastructure company like GoEgo Network, it needs to have a robust tech solution.
Right.
And that's when we started building the tech network part. The good part was that the body which governs this OCPP is also based in Netherlands. It's in Arnhem, city called Arnhem. It's a body is called OCA, Open Charge Alliance. So we we went there for a few rounds. We did test our tech solution with others. And always idea was, especially for Santan, the idea was to, really come back to India and build something in India. And he managed to convince me that, okay, that this is really valuable because, I was well settled. Let's say, I had no intention to come back at that time. I have Dutch passport. My kids are born there. They have also foreign passports. Only my wife has Indian passport. So it was, I would say, after working on this, well, it was a tough decision, but it was, I think somewhere in my mind and heart, probably it was also that, I have not done anything for India. I have always built solution for Goras at the time. So this feeling was, I think somewhere it was hurting me, I would say. And Santan did manage to convince me enough that, we could do something good for the country. And well, we are here.
Right, sir. That is very nice, actually. That was very thoughtful. So coming back to the questions, my second question is, what are the current trends in Indian EV sector and how do you foresee its future evolution?
Yeah. See, EV sector as such, if you say, I mean, it's a very broad spectrum. Like if you look at the ecosystem, we have the OEMs, which is the auto OEMs, like the people who are really building the electric vehicles. Then you have the battery manufacturers, those who are really assembling the batteries. Then there are people who are spending on the battery technology. I would say, like, let's say people like Amar Raja. Now Excite is also going into that. And then on top of that, there is a BMS, which is the battery management system. And so this is, let's say, purely from the vehicle perspective, which is required to run a vehicle.
Right.
And then the charging infrastructure comes, where the company like GoEgo, Tata Power are playing a role, and this building an EVSE, electric vehicle supply. So that part is there. Then there is a tech part comes, which is the OCPP, CSMS solution, charging management solution. And then there are players which are helping us aggregating, that you could charge from one app on multiple networks. So this is a broad spectrum of the EV ecosystem. And I must say, especially in the two-wheelers and three-wheelers segment, the growth which I see now in India is better than what we had projected in 2019. So based on the report of NITI Aayog, I think we managed to get rid of, let's say, Chinese solution in the last 4 years. A lot of people might have started there, but now we have a good policy from the government side also, like FAME 2 policies. One second. So technological advancements are happening in terms of vehicle, in terms of battery, in terms of battery management system, in terms of electric vehicle supply equipment, and all these, what I'm saying, people are spending time and money to make this happen in India. With Indian technology, with Indian techies working on this, and I think I am connected with most of these people at a founder or the, let's say, senior management level, and they are all very helpful, like us, that this is an industry which is gonna thrive, grow and thrive for many decades to come. And overall cost of ownership will also go down when the technology which probably we were importing in the beginning are now being developed in India. So cost will also come down, where it will be very competitive. I think you might have heard Mr. Nitin Gadkari saying that the prices of ICE vehicles and EVs will be almost same in coming 2 years. And he's just not saying because he's a very, how do you say, a person who believes in the execution. So, and I think I see all the steps going towards that. For example, IOCL, if you see, they are already experimenting with the aluminum air batteries, which is like, you put it once, it can give you like 2,000 kilometers of range. But the only disadvantage is you have to completely replace it. So after 2,000 kilometers, you have to go to a showroom. It's like, service one day for servicing, and that will be changed. But these are at very, very nascent stage. Same as wireless charging, which are being tested in Europe. So as I said, Juan, who's our the product guy, he is already testing with mega watt connector. There is a charging station of 850 kilowatt, which is being tested in Amsterdam. So we do have access to this kind of technology as part of GoEgo Network, which we will be bringing in the coming time to India as well. So overall, I'm very hopeful on like the effort which people are taking now. Initially, there was some shortcuts, but I see that with the right steps, right intervention from the government and also the people, that everybody believe that the technology, if you need to invest in the technology to keep it sustainable for the future.
Right. I personally believe EV industry has a long way to go and is actually moving at a very fastest pace. So yes. My question is, since you brought up Tata Power as a name, right? So how do you see GoEgo Networks competition, right? Competitors basically. So what is GoEgo Network doing as a company to surpass them, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look, how many people are really building the charging station EVSE on their own, that are very limited in India. So either, you're building part of the charging station. Nobody's, I mean, very little company like Exicom or Delta, they have the full end-to-end technology. But these companies are also in the business for more than 20 years or similar business for more than 20 years. And if you look, GoEgo plain, so this is a real startup starting from scratch. We have built this technology. And the advantage what we have, I would say, compared to others, is that we also have the network part on, where we know the pain of the customer. I drive an EV. I have drove more than 33,000 kilometers already in India. I got my vehicle in November 2021. I drove more than 40,000 kilometers in Europe.
Okay.
So charging a vehicle, it is a pain. And I think by having those experience in hand, that is reflecting in our product. And we have built a good team over time to really master these technologies for continuously improving the features. So that gives us an advantage, let's say, compared to other CPOs or other players who are either importing the technology or have the part of the technology only in-house.
Okay.
And reason to have this in-house was from the very beginning, as I mentioned, that we want to be a tech company because, as you said, this is a very early stage. And the continuous technological advancement will be happening for the next 5 to 7 years, definitely, where we have to bring the cost, where we have to make this, error less, or let's say, hence, user comes, it should charge without any hassle. That's not the case as of now for many players.
Exactly.
So that's where we think the investment which we have done is going to help the industry. Now, because you asked about Tata Power, so we do also have we call it in-house manufacturing facility. That also helps because this facility is at a place which is part of which is owned 100% by our lead investors, and they are supplying equipments, auto equipments to companies like Tata, Yamaha. So they have the expertise of building flawless products for OEMs for many decades now. He's like second generation. So that expertise they have in-house. With that expertise combined with our technology and experience, the product which comes out, and no shortcuts also. I mean, the aim is to really ensure all safety measures are there. The price, we want to keep it competitive because now 90% of the things are in-house. So I don't have to buy a controller or buy an engineer from outside to fix a firmware. So I could give you this service. I know what is the life of my products, how much cost it will take. And even though the design initially got done in Europe, this has been completely now safeguarded for Indian conditions as well. And those are the, I would say, clear winner for us to keep it competitive, but also keep it on the edge of the technological advancement.
Right. So can you provide some insights?
Let me know if you think that I'm not answering the exact points which you are asking. So please intervene me. Feel free to intervene if you see that if you ask a question I have not answered that.
No, it's fine, sir. It's fine. I'll definitely do that. So my third question is, can you provide some insights into your partnerships with other firms? Like I think GoEgo Network has just partnered with Adani Total Gas, right? So how are they going to contribute with your EV charging ecosystem, basically?
Yeah. So if you look, who are the buyers of the electric vehicle supply equipment? So OEMs, auto OEMs. So let's say Mahindra, MG, tomorrow Maruti may come, Tata. These people have to supply a charging station with the vehicle.
Right.
So all EVs comes with one charging station for sure, if not. So MG gives two charging stations. One is the emergency charger and one which they install it in your house. So as an OEM manufacturer of EV charging station, they are my natural customer for mass scale, because whatever number of EVs comes, there is a good chance that I will be able to sell this.
Exactly. Right.
So that's where let's say the partnership like Tata Power helps. We are also already talking to Mahindra and Mahindra. There is no definite agreement yet, but we are in talk with them. There are other OEMs. I cannot disclose the name because of the NDA, where we are in very advanced stage of the discussion. A lot of people have visited our facility, our R&D lab, our charge parks. They have seen both the product, the tech part and the product part. And these are some of big brands, listed brands of India, I could say that. We did the sign with Eka Mobility as well, which are in the business of making electric buses. So these kind of partnerships, and team is working continuously to have a relationship with, because as I said, we truly believe in our products. which will be cost effective. The quality wise, it is European, and the price wise, it is, I would say, Chinese. So
Right.
that's what we have tried to achieve now, and that's where the advantage. And they know that we are already serving in 62 cities, so we could also serve them.
Okay.
If you want names, I think there are big builders like Amar Builders, where we have the partnership, where we are installing. But it's not like that, they have said that if you are going to install everywhere I do the project. It's more on the project basis. So there is a definite project where we bid, and a lot of other parties also bid, and then one of these parties becomes a winner. But at least you are part of their ecosystem now. So it's a builder, big builders, the OEMs, and some of the CPOs like Tata Power, but also small CPOs. As I said, there's a company called Mavi Green, very, I would say, I won't say small, but very entrepreneurial guy who is capturing the Konkan range, for example. He's a good partner with us. He has the ambition of building his own network. That's very powerful. Now with GoEgo, he can buy the product, he can buy the software, he can buy the services as well. Only he has to, what he has to do is to really find the customers and take everything from us. And on his brand, he can create a network. So that's the power which we are giving to also the entrepreneurs, regional entrepreneurs also. I don't believe that there will be only one or two companies pan India running the network. I don't believe that. I think there will be some local players. So there will be some big players coming in. I don't know, Nasik or Nagpur, for example. Of course, Tata will be there, GoEgo will be there, but there will be some local players also who will take the advantage, because if you can get the hang of the technology which is required, I think there is a good chance that you can make money out of it.
Right. So how is goEgo Network actually working in this thing, right? I actually want to know the brief work which is going inside, right? How are you working for charging stations? What software you are using? What technology you are building for this particular EV charging solution? So
yeah. So first, I think I did not answer that. So what we are doing, that we are also a company who is investing in building a dealership network for GoEgo. And this is very different. So we are building our own dealership network. What does it mean?
Dealership network. Okay.
Yeah. So we are hiring people who have relevant experience. There is a big, from the team cutoff criteria. Idea is really to promote these guys to completely own this. So let's say if you are in Mumbai or certain regions where you already have a lot of customers, and probably you are doing, let's say, solar power business, and you want to do EV business, there is a natural tendency. So we are training them in terms of servicing, and in terms of product knowledge, in terms of how to install it and how to maintain it, complete end to end. Now through them we are also selling, but also managing the network. Now we already have 15 such dealers across India, and aim by end of this year is 50 dealers. So idea is to have a broader,
network
in 3 years. So these are my people. These people, they need to hire people on their payroll for GoEgo. That's one of the criteria, and then only they get the contract. Of course, that you need to back it up with the right amount of business. You need to give it to them, otherwise nobody will do it. So with this mentality, we are ensuring that we could really build this GoEgo network pan India in the coming 2-3 years, where we have significant presence in terms of servicing and also selling products. Now the products range which you talked about, so we have the complete range of AC products, which market needs and which were defined by, let's say, the government of India and bodies. We have also built which they had not thought of. For example, Bharat AC standard, which is, I would say, 3-phase, 3-connector. It requires 10 kilowatt. And when I was in Delhi in 2021, I was visiting with this product. And everybody was saying, Pravin, but where is 3-phase connection? In Delhi, most of the people have only single-phase connection. So how can I going to install this product? So what we did, our R&D team toned down the specification and made sure that that we could run this single phase 3-connector without compromising the output which a vehicle needs. So that is completely in-house design product. We call it OWL. Reason for calling it owl that mostly people will be charging in the night. And of course, it's a slow charger. The need is different. So all our products are based on the name of the birds, where the
Okay.
size and their charging speed reflects, let's say, try to reflect the name of the product.
Okay.
Then you have Eagle, and we have Eagle Light. Eagle is for the four-wheeler. Four-wheeler EV charging station. One is 7.4 kilowatt, other one is 15 kilowatt. And you can charge one vehicle or you can charge two vehicles.
Right.
Then we also have Robin, which is one single output 3.3 kilowatt, because there is a difference between people choosing for three connectors versus single connector, depending upon what kind of use case they are trying to serve. So we have those. We have complete AC range product, whatever, let's say, kind of vehicle is there in India or will come to India. So there is no gap as such. Single phase, three phase, 1.1 kilowatt up to 22 kilowatt. These are all there. All design and everything is in-house now. The assembly line is set up. The suppliers have been built. Everything is in-house. I mean, this is, I personally think no one in India has it at this point of time. So that's really coming to India and making India dream. I think we have managed to establish that. On the DC part, the controller is being tested now. So we are testing our own DC charger as well, as I'm talking to you. Idea is again seeing that we do have some of the DC chargers built by other manufacturers, like Okaya and others on our network. But idea is to have this also technology in-house. Mostly here we are preferring to have this the controller the way we have it for AC charger, also the DC charger, the DC converter part. The technology needs to be in-house. I don't think we are going to go for 100% because there are a lot of models as of now which no one builds in India, like the rectifier model. There are some players, but they are starting with a very small kilowatt, like 3 kilowatts, 6 kilowatts, 12 kilowatt max, whereas for DCB, starting from 30, it can go up till, let's say, 60, 90 kilowatt of kind of range.
Okay.
So that will be a future development, not planned as of now. So from AC to DC, we have the complete range, and I think I have deployed, as I said, more than 1,700 charge points, and that ranges from 1.1 kilowatt till 60 kilowatt across different cities, states, districts.
That is nice. That was actually a very fine explanation, sir, about the products. One such parameter which I think for EV, EV industry right now is safety, right? So how goEgo Network is actually coping up with that? How are you basically ensuring EV users' safety in monsoon season, especially?
Yeah, very well. Very good question. I think to the point. So what happens? There are a lot of socket companies. They are selling those socket as a charging station or charge points. I think that's one of the myth was created. I think slowly people have understood. So smart socket, for example, when Tata was selling or still selling a vehicle, what they are doing, they are giving a charging and they also was calling it a charging station, which was for me when I heard for the first time, I did not believe that a brand like that Tata could do that. And there were a lot of other companies who were selling a smart socket with just an MCB. I think we have read the news. We have also saw a lot of bad fatalities as well because of getting the fires and all. There are a lot of some people died also. From the very beginning, we said that we will not compromise and we will always build EVs. An electric vehicle supply equipment comes with all the required safety measures. That whatever happens, the fire cannot spread inside your chargers. So cannot never go to the vehicles. That's the motto which we have, and there we have not compromised. And I'll tell you some of the examples which has happened on goEgo chargers last year. And I'm telling you because it's important for people to know also. So as per these specs which ARI has defined or Bharat Indian government has defined, that does not fit. I'm telling you the standards that does not match with the reality of the discoms. So,
Okay.
for example, some of the discoms can supply you a voltage on single phase more than 250, whereas the spec says it should be 265 voltage. Now we need to put a, they call it a MOV, which gets burned if the voltage is more. So what happens?
Okay.
The controller which we had designed, that was with, let's say,
Right.
265 voltage. It's not the exact. This is for example perspective. So
Right.
what used to happen when the voltage is higher, my controller used to burn, and then I have to replace the controller. And I
Okay.
did not realize that why it's happening. And one time I had to send a person from the team. While it was raining and it burned, I could see that on the network that one charger is went down.
Okay.
So I sent a team there. They tested and they told me, sir, there is no neutral coming from the grid. So complete neutral was missing for a very long period of time.
Okay.
Now, because of that, the voltage between the other lines were much higher, and that's why it got burned. But the burning was inside the charger only. It's not like that there was a smoke or something. We took back. Now we realize that what's wrong. So the team, R&D team, which sits next to my room, they have increased that rating to a much higher level. But again, if the grid supply doesn't follow their norms, I mean,
Right.
there will be some failures. But what our aim is that, okay, even if the failure happens, it's an expensive equipment which fails inside my charger, we take that in.
Right.
We don't compromise on that, and whether it's the surge protection or the circuit breaker, or undercurrent, overcurrent, under voltage, over voltage, residual current, all these kind of safety mechanisms have been put in place.
Right. So these are some scenarios, I guess, which are actually making you learn a lot of things and implement for future references as well, right? So that is very good.
Yeah.
One last question, which I am actually very curious about, is so in all those years, right? In all these years, you must have a lot of customer feedback or your dealership feedback. So do you want to share any success stories with us?
Yeah, I mean, so I have a charge park which is very close to my office in Balewadi.
Okay.
And so when we created the charge park, usually the concept it was one of the first public charge parks in India, if not the first one. I'm telling you. So my original idea was to build only the four-wheeler charging station in the charge park. But because it was the very new concept which I was trying out, I had kept a diary. Even though the app can have the feedback, but a lot of people, those who used to come to charge there, they have the last mile delivery boys. And they wrote in diary that, they want to have a two-wheeler charger also, which was quite surprising because nobody in India believed that there will be a public charging for two-wheelers.
Right.
And that feedback came from the people. I put one charging station, one two-wheeler charging station. Now I have increased this to two because all 6 charge points are occupied now. And these feedbacks are coming from the people. So also on the business model, I'm saying you might have the hypothesis from Europe or other parts of the world. India is a different country, and you have to test. I mean, the more limitation you will put, probably you are losing money on it.
Right.
So this feedback came from, and we have tested this at multiple places. A lot of people within the city range, these boys who work for last mile delivery or someone who is going or driving an EV going to office other part of the city, they come and charge. On a daily basis, 20 to 30 chargings happens in that charge park. Or for two-wheelers, I'm talking. That's a big number. I mean, that's a number nobody would have believed that. Now let's take the charging installation, for example. The good cable versus very good cable versus bad cables. What kind of cables do you put it while you are installing a charging station?
Right.
So we have always put copper cable, and with the specs we have never compromised. That okay, so we said okay, who is the best in this industry as of now? So Polycab. So with Polycab, we discussed, we made certain agreements, and we have taught our installation partners to also use only Polycabs. Even though it might be a bit costlier than others, it's your job to convince the party who is installing a charging station that this is the right thing to do it and don't take a shortcut. These
Right.
charging stations are there for running for multi-years, so do a proper investment.
Right, sir. But actually, this is a very thoughtful and interactive session, sir. We would love to know more about GoEgo Network in coming future. So all the best for
Yeah.
your journey.
Thanks a lot, Rahul, and I'm happy.
Right, sir. But definitely we'll
Yeah.
we'll
Thank you.
interact more on this in coming future.